Olá, fãs de séries! É já no próximo dia 13 de agosto que estreia a segunda temporada de Modern Love, a série antológica da Amazon Prime Video. O Séries da TV esteve à conversa com parte do elenco e começamos com a entrevista a Zoë Chao e Gbenga Akinnagbe, os protagonistas do primeiro episódio desta temporada.
What was your name?
Katie.
Katie, okay. I'm Alexa.
Hey, there she is. Cheers.
How are you? You good? Yeah? So, you portray these characters, right? One of them is a bit quirky, Zoe's character, which is also called Zoe.
I'm wondering which one.
Yeah. Would you say that you relate in any way with your characters? Maybe more so Zoe because of this night owl thing.
Yeah, so we share a name, but also, I don't know. I'm not a night owl. I am a strong 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. But I do relate to her. I think her curiosity about life. I think she's like a person who has her own, rhythm and I think she lives in her life. Her life is very full, even though it is not the norm.
When I relate to my character, I think there's a part of all my characters that are like parts of me. And so there's that. I don't know if I have the chutzpah enough to talk to a stranger in the middle of the night of the diner. So I might stare creepily from across the room, like I wish I could talk to her, and then police would be called. But other than that, I like his clothes too. Clothes.
You look good.
You're kind. You're kind. I had fun. So he seems like the fun guy that I sometimes think I am.
You are the fun guy.
So while I was watching your episode, which is the first one, you opened the season, I was taking notes and I wrote, this will work up until what point? What's going to be the thing that will determine this is not going to move forward. And that thing is when Jordan realizes that he can imagine a future where both of these lifestyles, we can call it, ways of living, these two different ways of living just don't work out. Do you both think that the solution that he finds, which is compromising, finding the little things, finding time to be together in the hours that overlap, as it says, do you think that's the key to making a relationship work and grow, even when it comes to two such different people? Is it the key ingredient?
Yeah, I think that a union between any two people is kind of a miracle, because we're all so different and come from different places and different experiences, and I think there will always be compromise, no matter who you coexist with. This is a very specific scenario, but I think every relationship negotiates differences and that you sort of decide whether you want to put in the effort to overcome, or if you're like, this isn't worth it. And so I think he finds a beautiful solution to their differences, and the story is based on this woman's life, Amanda Gefter, and she and her husband just, I think, had their 4th anniversary, so they're making it work.
Yeah,
I think it's on a very individual basis as far as like what these two people in that specific relationship, whatever relationship that is, need to do in order to make that work. In some relationships, it's compromise, and some relationships, like I mean, there's all like it's not compromise. One person gets their way, and the other person is actually it's good with that. They want someone to take the lead. I mean, it's such a range of things, and then we as society, we put our values. We're like, oh, it should be this way, it should be that way. In actuality, it's whatever works between those two people. So like this could work for a very long time. Apparently it's been working for at least 4 years. So so it's possible, especially in New York. We've seen, and the city is so tough but also so giving. I've seen like it's all types of arrangements made so people can survive and survive together. Like as Zoe said, it's a miracle to people find one another and connect, and are able to like make something happen.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Ciao.
Continuamos com Zane Pais e Marquis Rodriguez, cuja narrativa do seu episódio é baseada numa história verídica que aconteceu ao realizador Andrew Rannells, que também esteve presente na conversa.
Hi guys, I'm Beatriz. I'm from Portugal, from a website called séries.tv. It's exclusively dedicated to TV shows. First of all, congrats on your amazing episode. I loved it. And I'm gonna start. All right, and I'm gonna start with Zane and Marquis. This episode is the perfect scenario for what it could have been and what if, which is something that happens a lot in real life. And actually, the story is based on a real life experience. So I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, have experienced a case like this. And by the end of the story, we're left wondering exactly that. I mean, what if? And this could have been something. Do you guys know if this crossing of paths between Robbie and Ben could lead to a re-encounter and a revisit of their brief journey?
I like to think that, like, realistically, no, because I think that like it is very like, God, I'm sorry, but I just think that like what I love about the story is like it happens all the time. We see each other in passing, and we grant these sort of this air of forgiveness without even saying anything, or this air of like love and light and good energy toward this person, and like I have no ill will toward you. But the idea of reaching back out and sort of like digging all of that back up might end up hurting both of us more. And I think that that's something that happens a lot. And I think that we offer people like this sort of just understanding that I think is worth a little bit more sometimes than any sort of reconnection could be worth. I think sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think, unfortunately, they're going to reconnect, but I think that that's in a way more poignant and a more interesting kind of, way of leaving things. I think that they just have compassion for each other, and they both share this moment crossing the street. And I think that it's just the messy soup of life, and that's just what it is. And it's just a beautiful little interaction that they have, and a mutual acknowledgement, and just an appreciation.
All right, now to Andrew. So this is based on a story that you wrote, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So what are the biggest similarities and differences between the two, the one that you wrote and the one that we see on screen?
Well, the nice thing, the opportunity that John Carney sort of presented to me in writing this was that when I wrote the essay, I can really only tell my version of the story. I didn't want to try to imagine what, the other guy was going through. But when we were, when I was dramatizing it and writing it for television, I felt like I had a little more space to sort of imagine what he might have been going through, what he might have been thinking and feeling. And it was in a really exciting way, and it felt like a fuller way to get to share this story, because it's not, exactly how it happened that evening to me 20 years ago. It's it's a sort of a reimagining of it, and it was really amazing to get to cast such incredible actors like Marquis and Zane who brought their own life to it. So it really did take on sort of many different sizes and shapes and sides, and that I wasn't even expecting. So it was exciting to get to hand it over to other people and say, do all the work.
Yeah. And what was it like directing an episode that tells this story and that's it in the whole season, but then the episode is inserted in a whole season. So, yeah. I mean, it's a different story from all the other 7, but there's still this common style and this common line that the season follows. What was it like giving it your something, but still fit it in the big picture?
I worked with a really great director of photography named Yaron Orbach, who did the first, I think he did 3 or 4 episodes of the season. So he kept an eye on sort of what is the through line and what is the thread. But I'll be very honest with you, I did not get to read all of the episodes. I read, I think, 1 other episode, which was wildly different from the story that I was telling. But a really beautiful story, but just very different, which is something that I love about this show, and that they do tell such different stories, and each week is a very different situation and a very different tone, and some of them are funny and some of them are sad, and I was just excited to get to be a part of it. But in terms of where it fits into the whole season, I'm not sure, but I love that it's so diverse and that every episode is so different.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sim, mas não menos importante, a atriz Minnie Driver, conhecida principalmente pelas suas prestações no mundo cinematográfico, conta-nos o que retirou da jornada da sua personagem nesta segunda temporada de Modern Love.
How are you similar with Stephanie, and how are you different from this character?
Well, you know, I'm a mother. I've experienced love. I've experienced grief and loss. I know what it's like to worry a bit about money and how you balance all of that out. And I think I'm very different in that she has compartmentalized a lot in her life, and I don't tend to do that. I sort of live everything at once.
Fun fact, did you get to actually drive the car, or were all the driving scenes done on studio?
Yeah, I did. I did. I drove the car a lot. It's a beautiful Stag Triumph. They have really sticky gearboxes, but they're amazing when they like to go fast. And it was such a beautiful car. I loved it. It was driving through the mountains in Ireland in that car was really magical.
So most of the scenes, it was you on the...
All of the scenes were me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice. So each episode of this TV show teaches a lesson. What is your take on your episode? What do you take from Stephanie's love journey?
That there's love after death. That even when you think that death is apparently such an ending, and that your heart's going to break and it's never going to mend, that the idea that it is possible to navigate grief, it is possible to love again, and that your heart is a very big place and can accommodate a lot more than your brain thinks it can.